We got another Patreon request here. This is today's episode, 2023's Creed 3, starring Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. And let's go ahead and talk about on this episode movie breakdowns. But before I get started, is there a review you want me to do? Let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to as best I can. Also Patreon, Patreon/Ali Zakka for $2 a month. You get your cut in front of everybody else. Get your review out before it comes out on Facebook and YouTube. Now, let's go ahead and get on today's episode of Creed 3 from 2023. Now, what is this movie about? This movie is about Michael B. Jordan's character, Creed, or Adonis Creed, who is pretty much done with boxing. He's ended it. He's over, but his past comes back to haunt him as his friend gets released from prison after 18 years, decided to make his way back into Creed's life and wants a title shot for his life that he missed out. It's a revenge story mixing with guilt and jealousy, and I like this movie. Yes, the storyline is done before. But before I hop into that piece of it, I just gotta throw some shout outs out here. Michael B. Jordan directed this movie. This is his first movie he directed, and I think it was directed flawlessly. Well, I don't say flawlessly, there's some pacing issues, but it was pretty much solid. Like, you were gonna enjoy this movie. If you're somebody who enjoyed drama, thriller, and a little bit of sports, you'll get that out of this movie. I think the directing of this movie was done right, besides a few pacing issues at the beginning and middle of the movie. But as far as action choreography go and the boxing in this movie, chef's kiss. Like, Michael B. Jordan said the fight scenes in this movie is based off anime, and there's things in this movie where you're watching and like, without having to explicitly tell you like this is a scene or a panel from an anime, that 100% was in there. I didn't notice it, but the fight part of it I did, and one of my favorite YouTubers out there, he reviewed this movie as well, and Chris Stuckman's his name. Chris Stuckman said there's a moment where the punch between Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Major looks like the Dragon Ball Z panel. And then somebody else posted on Twitter the side by side, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that is definitely, that punch there is definitely from Dragon Ball Z, and I loved it. There was parts in the fight scene in this movie where I was like, oh my gosh, like, and bobbing and weaving the movie, because it felt, the fight choreography in this movie felt so good. It felt like almost like just graceful moving and them ducking each other and moving, and then like they see everything slows down. Like if you're watching an anime, a sports anime for sure, where the character's noticing something and then everything slows down and then they make the final move. You see that kind of stuff in this movie, and I love it. Matter of fact, I know I'm talking about fast pace here, so I do apologize. I'm just excited. But matter of fact, when you watch this movie, the opening, this is not a spoiler or anything, but on Michael B. Jordan's wall when he's a kid, or Adonis' wall when he's a kid, you see like Lupin the Third on his wall, and you see a poster of Naruto on his wall. So it tells you right then and there, like, this movie, like you said, gonna have some anime influence on it. And storyline goes, the way it was kind of set up to me, seemed like an anime. You have the hero character who on top of the world, and then you have a villain character who comes back who pretty much wants it all that he never got. He felt like the hero character stole his spot, and the guilt between all of that stuff. Like, it just seemed like it played out like an anime. Like the backstory opened up like you'll see in the anime and goes back and forth, and the flashback scene. Like, I thought it was good. Another positive I like in this movie is the cast. The cast is amazing, from Tessa Thompson to Jonathan Majors to Woods. This movie is like, the acting in the movie is solid. It's good across the board. I loved it. I think everybody went 110% in it, and I think like not just Jonathan Majors, but Michael B. Jordan character went all in, and everybody did a bunch of stuff that was like, oh man, this is some great stuff. The choreography and the fight choreography was great, and it was a very simple like movie as far as like CGI. Well, I would say CGI effects, but like setting, all in one spot. It wasn't no grandiose setting, wasn't no big world stuff. It was all kind of like central Los Angeles. But I would say this, there is CGI in this movie, and you know what, it doesn't bother me. I think it's fine, but it is there, so you're watching like, okay, some CGI in here, but the effects is cool. Like, even the special effects, in the trailer you see some special effects, it's kind of cool as well, which I'm here for it. I am here for like the different camera directing, the different lighting and coloring of certain scenes, like the mad scene with to do with the giant skull in his head, and he's twirling the paint or twirling the not the sparkler, but the smoke bombs around, and the color of it and the way it's shot looks so much better than what probably would look like in real life with a normal camera. The movie makes it look more detailed. I think the light, not the light, but the tone of the colors they use in this movie really works for me, and really makes the movie seems like, you know, just a little more intimate. I don't know. I feel like it's not just basic lighting. Like they did some other touches on here that made it look really pop and stand out. So props to that. I really enjoyed just the choreography and the setting and the camera and the lighting and just the art style of the movie to me that's really set in there. Now some dislikes. The pacing. The beginning of the movie is slow in a sense. This movie is an hour and 56 minutes, so a 2-hour movie, but like really it doesn't really peak until Jonathan Major character finally gets his shot, and that's when you're like, oh, okay, now I'm more into it. But then from there it kind of shifts to like a dude on a redemption path to do like, I want everything, give it to me, you stole my life kind of situation, and it flips from there. Another thing that the storyline, there's plots in this movie that you've seen before. You've seen the storyline where, you know, the revenge story where I want to give him back and get my revenge. You took everything from me storyline. You get the storyline of, you know, the wife and husband fighting each other, and then the daughter is involved, and the daughter won't be like the father or her role model situation. So you get that storyline. You get another storyline, well, how can you tell me, well, you know, you never asked, or I was trying to protect you from the truth. Like, the storyline in this movie is definitely done before, and you definitely see the roller coaster that you've seen in pretty other sports movies where the character goes down and has a down moment and then gotta come back and make something happen. Think of You Got Served where they kill Little Saint. Think of Stump the Yard where everything goes sideways. Any movie with drama with sports where like, oh no, the good guy was on top and then he's on the bottom because life is sideways. But you know what? With this last sporting event, we'll make it right. It's done before in other movies, and that's like one of my dislikes with this, and the pacing, how it takes a little bit before it really picks up. And like, I mean, like it takes a while, like with a point where you're like, all right, where we're gonna go with this? We're gonna go with this, okay. Also, the argument scene of, same thing with Ant-Man, where I won't tell you what the issue is, I won't bring it up. That stuff really does bother me at the time, because you're like, come on, man, like just, this is your significant other, just tell them. What do you got to hide? And especially when like everything has come to light and you're still not trying to reveal it, like why? So that's some few things that bother me. I'm going to talk more about in the spoilers section. Now, let's go ahead and get into cast and crew. So Creed 3 came out 2023. Yes, we know. It's PG-13 and hour and 56 minutes. It's considered a drama/sports movie directed by Michael B. Jordan, which is his first film he's directed. And if he's going to direct more films, I'm here for it. I want to see it. The writers are Keegan Coogler, Zach Balin, who did the screenplay, and then story by Ryan Coogler, who also worked on, you know, Black Panther. The cast, you got Michael B. Jordan as Adonis Creed. Michael B. Jordan is great. I think his acting in this movie to me was good. There's a little part where I feel like he's overacting when like there's a sad moment in the movie. He's like, I don't know why it was necessary for us to put that in there, but it was cool. It's not really much of anything. He sits down after having an argument, and then he just tosses stuff off the table. I'm like, why? For the show frustration? Dude, we can see you're frustrated. We don't need to add the extra bit. It makes no sense to throw that in there. But whatever, that's just my nitpick. It's fine. I think he did great in this movie. The acting for him was 10, like top-notch 10 plus. Tessa Thompson, who plays Bianca, great work from her. She is solid in this movie as well. Tessa Thompson, I feel like, is great in everything I see her in. Just a good spot. She had a storyline I'll talk more about in the spoiler section as well. Jonathan Majors, who played Damian Anderson, good work. Jonathan Major is great, great work. He reminded me of somebody who literally just got out of prison. His character got out of prison in the movie, and the way he conducted himself, the way he was speaking, the way his mannerism are, where like he's not sure he can be relaxed at all time. He feel like he had to have just kind of talking where like he's always on guard. And the dialogue he delivered in this movie, and the writing, the way he brought certain lines to the screen, to me, was really, really great. Like, Adonis spoke one way and Damian spoke another way. And it's almost like they had two different talking patterns and talking speech, which is great. Like, it makes sense. Somebody who's been locked up for 18 years and not really around in the public, not really around everybody, might not get everything that is going on the outside. You have a few things, but they won't get, the whole world as they were if they was on the outside like Adonis was. So they both carried themselves different ways. There's a part where Jonathan Major's character Damien was like even looking at Adonis like, "You're wearing monkey suits now? You're wearing suits and ties?" And Adonis like, "Yeah, I'm wearing suits and ties. What's up?" Like, phenomenal acting from both of them. Like, great work, and just so good, so good. Wood Harris, who played Tony Little Duke Burton. Wood Harris is good. I call him Woods earlier, but Wood Harris is good. It just reminds me, it's still I think Julius from Remember the Titans. I'm sorry, he can never escape that from me, but Wood Harris is great work. Felicia Rashad, who plays Mary Ann Creed, the mom, she was fine. Good work from her. Mila Davis Kent, who played Amara, great. She is a character who can't speak, and they have used sign language to convey what her throughout the movie, and somebody who can't speak but still express emotion and still express what they need to do. Mila did a great work, and I almost want to see a movie with her eventually. Jose Benavides, who plays Felix Chavez, good work from him. And then Salinas Leiva, who played Laura Chavez, good work from her as well. And then shout out to Thaddeus J. Mixon, who played Young Adonis Creed, and then Spence Moore II, who played Damian Anderson, the young Damian Anderson. Good work from both of them. Good job. I think everybody acting across the board was really great, really solid. Shout out. Any other thoughts? Nah, I think this movie is a solid movie, man. I think this movie you should go watch in theaters. Like, if you love sports, you love drama, and you're definitely a fan of the Creed series, you should definitely go watch this. I know Rocky's not in this movie, and there's a bunch of backstage politics with that, but it's a movie that didn't need Rocky in it, and I think it did a great job with that. Like, this movie, it felt like its own standalone movie when it comes to the Creed storyline, and to me, I thought it was better than the first one. I did not like the first one at all. I need to go back and revisit it for movie reviews, but this movie was a solid movie across the board. I think everybody will enjoy this movie. Unless you're just somebody who doesn't really like drama and realism, you might not like it. But as somebody who enjoy realism with their action, this movie is going to be one of those movies. Now, I would say the fighting sequences are great. Phenomenal. The sequences with the fight scenes are solid, and it's going to take a little bit out of it because they do things in this movie where like you won't see in other movies where you go inside the character's mind. Whew, good work though, but somebody who loves anime and loves action, who loves the mentality behind it, solid work. Like, you can see that like this grudge had became so volatile that it was literally just between, nothing else mattered but the two characters, and some good work, man. Some good work. Is it a Friday night movie? Yes, it's a Friday night movie. Go watch it in theaters. Go wait till it comes out Friday on DVD. Watch with family and friends. Solid movie. Great time. I'm going to grade Creed 3 for 2023. I'm going to give this movie a B+, an 89%. Yes, it's a B+ for me, and the reason why it's a B+ and not an A is because some of the pacing in the beginning is slow, and the storylines you've seen have been repetitive. You've seen the grudge match storyline. You've seen the storyline where you took everything from me. This is my chance to come back. I want your life kind of thing. You've seen all that done before in other movies. So the storyline is not original, but the acting on the stage was great. The choreography with the fight scenes was phenomenal. The music, there's not really much music. There's music in here, but it doesn't really stand out as much. But the cinematography, the directing, I just enjoyed this movie, and I thought it was great. It's a B+ for me. The beginning of it's kind of slow, but that back half of the movie is some solid work. So it gets a B+ for me. IMDb gives this movie a 7.4 out of 10. That is a C. And Rotten Tomatoes gives this movie an 87%. That is a B plus from the critics, and the audience gives this movie a 96%. That is an A. So, yeah, I'm right there with Rotten Tomatoes. If you've seen Creed 3, what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode movie breakdowns, and let's hang around for the spoilers in 3, 2, 1. So first things first, there is no after credit scene. Just want to throw that out there. So you plan to watch this movie in theaters and want to go sit behind it. There's no after credit scene. The second thing I want to talk about is the storyline. So Jonathan Major's character gets locked up for 18 years due to a gun incident where Creed decided to fight a guy who used to beat them up in a homeless shelter. He used to beat them up and he started beating him down. And then his gang started jumping Creed, but then Jonathan shows up with Damien shows up with a gun and the police pulls up. Adonis runs away, but Damien gets taken to jail for 18 years. Pretty much an 18-year-old having an unlicensed gun and goes to jail for that. So that's what happens while this is going on, while Damien is in prison. He's sitting there watching Adonis rise to stardom, rise to fame. He's undefeated, hasn't lost a match since, I guess, the first movie. And as he lost the title, I guess he reigns undefeated as a champion. He retires, so he's in the movie living retirement. And Damien's like, I want some of that life. So he gets out. He goes to Adonis's gym, find a way to work his way into the title picture, and beats Felix by doing some dirty moves. Like he pretty much hurt him in the gym, and then takes him out on the stage. And it takes a little bit to get there. Also to get to that, like he had one of his gang members, or not gang members, he had one of his prison mates beat up Drogo to get the chance for him to step in. Adonis gives him a shot. Adonis trying to be a promoter at this point, gives him a shot. Damien takes advantage of it all and pretty much becomes the world champion. So you're like, oh my God, Cinderella story, world champion. Okay, cool. Then after that, the truth comes to light, where you had a storyline where Adonis's mom hides all of Damien's letters to Adonis. He reads it, like, why would you hide this from me, Mom? Mom, you could have prevented this. Mom dies for some reason, and I don't understand why the mom dying plays in this movie, because at the end of the movie, Adonis doesn't even acknowledge this, like his mom dying and passing his mom. Like he probably hit rock bottom. Him and Tessa Thompson or Bianca are going at it. Adonis and Tessa Thompson are going at it. But Adonis is not telling his past to his wife, which you think he should be open to tell her, but he won't. Little Creed is trying to be like her father and knocking people out and everything, so they're doing a little boxing on the side here to teach her how to do some things. Tessa Thompson's character, Bianca, is trying to deal with losing everything because she can't perform as much, so she's trying to deal with that and moving on in life. So this movie has a few things in it. A theme of guilt, where Creed feels guilty, Adonis feels guilty for running out on his friend, let him get locked up and never reaching out to him and saying, I'm still here for you, man. You have Tessa Thompson character who's trying to move on from her career and move into a new role because she can't perform as much with her bad ear, so she's been a producer. You have Adonis character, or Damien character, who wants revenge, felt like he been left aside and doesn't have anything and nobody gave him anything, so now he wants to take everything that he could have had. He feels like if he didn't get locked up, he should be in Creed's spot. He should have everything Creed has. The nice mansion, the beautiful wife, the beautiful kid, the championships, the gold everywhere. He felt like he should have that, but he didn't get that because he didn't get the opportunity to get that. Creed, who felt like he took the opportunity from Adonis, or from Damien, so he trying to give him that chance to make it better for him. All these storylines in here that you've seen in other movies and them coming back and doing things all over again, you see that stuff in this movie. And to me, it was like, okay, we've seen it before, but what's new? What's different to the table? And really, the fight choreography is all there is different. The scene of everything slow down and then pow, jab here, jab there. The scene, everything slow, and people like all those little anime ticks and things you see in anime, see that in the movie in real life. To me, it worked, and I feel like it did a good job delivering those fight sequences to the screen. The fight sequence is probably the best thing in this movie because of the fact that, like, the storyline itself is done everywhere else. What's new? The fights. Everything else is the same storyline you've seen in any other sports movie or any other drama movie where you took everything from me. This is going to be my time, my glory. Yeah, we seen that. We seen the glory storyline. Everything's gone. You have what I had. That should have been my wife. It should have been my kid. It should have been my life. You stole my life. And I want it. Like, we've seen all that stuff before. But there's some good stuff in this movie. I think the storyline is something I want to talk about the most. And then the mom dying storyline was like, she has stroke and her body failed on her, but like it didn't really mean anything to the ending of the movie. Maybe might be a Creed 4 where he relives his mom's loss, but I feel like the mom dying wasn't really a big part of the movie that they put in there for, I don't know, it's no unknown reason to me. But the movie's still a solid movie. It's still a fun movie. I enjoyed it. I had a good time. To me, it's worth the watch. And go check it out. I think that's it with the spoilers. I can't really think of anything else I want to talk about. I talked about Bianca and her moving on and being a producer. And then, oh yeah, I guess her and Creed arguing with each other all the time was pointless to me. Like, Creed didn't just tell his wife, this is what I'm going through. This is what's happened. This is Leon. This is this. Like, he would not reveal that stuff. And she had to pry it out of him, which makes no sense. That's your wife. You should be able to tell her everything. So they're arguing with each other. And I feel like their relationship's going to have some issues because they're arguing versus them just talking about it. It's movie 3. Any arguing stuff, it should be at least movie 2nd, and then the 3rd one, it should be like being a team. Bianca's storyline didn't need to be put into this movie. The only reason Bianca's storyline was in this movie because I guess it put a show as an example of this what you do to move on instead of holding on to the past. Creed couldn't leave his past. Damien couldn't leave his past, but Tessa Thompson's character was moving on from her past. Those storylines was there, and I think it would just be like a certain example of somebody else moving on and versus sitting and walling on what they lost, what it could have had. But to me, just like it wasn't really as necessary or to the forefront. And at the end of the movie, where Creed beats Damien, because that's what happened. So Damien beats Felix, become a world champion. Creed steps back in the ring after being retired to take out Damien to feel like this is the only way they can convey their issues was to do a one-on-one fight on one of the biggest stages in Los Angeles. And they have this, which is a really cool scene. They pretty much dim everything, and it's literally just Creed and Damien in the ring fighting each other. And there's no crowd, there's no noise, there's them fighting in their inner thoughts. And they're like bodying each other. Like there's a hit where Damien bounce up against a steel cage, like the jail cell, and then there's the hits where like they're fighting against the punching bag or the bed they used to have when it was in the homeless shelter, and like these things were inside their mind they're going through, but they wasn't going through, in real life. I just thought it was a cool thing that's something anime would do, where it shuts down everything and just the two fighters fighting each other, and they're just bow, bow, like just those hits and punches and like all the jabs and everything. I think those things are all cool stuff that the movie brings to the table and shows you like, dude, this is some anime-inspired fight scenes in this movie. It is some good work. Like, my God. Like, even the punch where you see in the trailer, what they shouldn't show the trailer, I actually go, ooh. Like, Damien hit Creed, just went, and Creed, like, and they did the whole, trying to make the impact. Because the anime you watch, if somebody gets hit, go watch Naruto versus Sasuke as a kid. And there's I think Naruto is kicking Sasuke's butt, and he hits Sasuke, and Sasuke like floating in midair as Naruto's like jabbing him, like pop, 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 pop. And like you can see like the body punch like shoots through his body. Matter of fact, another one is Piccolo versus Android 17 in Dragon Ball Z, where Piccolo and Android 17 are hitting each other, and just like they're hitting each other, but you can see like their fists kind of like hit through the man's body, and then the movie try to show that as best they can, but keep a little realism in it. I thought it was great. All right, if you've seen Creed 3, what did you think? Please put it in the comment section below, especially the fight sequences. Other than that, see you guys next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.